Hollywood tries to normalize men's terrible behavior enough. We don't need this couple doing it more. I've had more hate because of me criticizing this man or this couple and Ryan Reynolds than anything I've ever talked about, I think. And most of the people I'm blocking are women who are violently defending this man. I don't know him. I don't care. But these people are super rich, super powerful, have millions of followers who literally are like gush after these couples' goals. And most importantly, they are purposely doing this. Look, Dax said he and his wife hope to offer people a realistic expectation of marriage. I'm sorry, y'all, this may be realistic because right now, a lot of women can relate to her being treated like crap by their partner, being made fun of. In the last video I did, having to fight all the time over asking your husband to help out at home. The dude went ballistic over her asking him in a note to fold towels. And she had really crossed a line with his boundaries because she wrote him a note. She has to ask him in a different way. I mean, come on. Have y'all been listening to what we've been telling y'all? That is not normal. That is controlling behavior and him weaponizing therapy speak, just like Jonah Hill. I have a problem with her just as much as him. She is no victim here. I'm sorry, but women who enable men, especially predatory men or just, mean men at the very least, women who enable men are just as dangerous to the world, especially other women, as the men themselves. So I'm sorry, but I mean, I can hold space for her possibly being in a situation that she doesn't realize is unbelievably not healthy. And I say that because they opened themselves up to being couples' goals, trying to show us what we should expect. I don't expect this. I expect more from my husband. He would never do the stuff that this man does in front of millions of people to her. But you know what? I can still have empathy for her and at the same time call her out on her enabling of men. Because how do you think these men get away with so much? This man has so many women in his corner fighting for him. On my page, how do y'all think predators get away with what they do? They wouldn't be able to do it if they wouldn't be able to get away with this stuff if they didn't have a lot of women cleaning up the mess behind them, making excuses for them. And I say this as someone who is a survivor of childhood SA and domestic violence and all kinds of stuff. I used to be this woman. Also, remember, I don't know her, okay? But the pattern seems very familiar. And we're allowed to talk about celebrity when they're making a killing off of selling us expectations for marriage. So one thing they try to teach us is that she's not allowed to leave when they're having a fight. She explains that she's, dramatic and likes a dramatic exit. I don't doubt that some of that is true. But I'm sorry, one of the things that works well in relationships is oftentimes when things get heated, the couple needs to separate and get their crap together before they do a lot of damage. And he's like, no, that's unhealthy. You have to stay here. Okay, bro. Okay. You sound like an expert on healthy communication. Somebody who literally makes Jonathan Van Ness cry on your podcast. You should be giving communication advice. Shut up. So this is a man who also got this mural put on a van and parked it in their driveway or something and then bragged about, she wasn't too happy about it. She wasn't thrilled with the level of female empowerment that was depicted on the mural. And I get that, but he was trying to honor the era. The dude purposely does stuff. Piss her off. Like, this man is so insecure. The way he also honored the culture of the South is by driving without a helmet on a motorcycle. Are you kidding me? The way he honors his gay friend is refusing to marry her until gay marriage is legal, making her wait 4 years so she has to beg on Twitter the day it's legal. Okay. Like, he hides behind like some principles around things and literally like he's just doing what he wants to do. And what's so funny is that their fan base is people who find it equally refreshing and hilarious to see celebrity couples at each other's throats. Just because something is familiar doesn't mean it's healthy, y'all. Me dating an abusive man was very familiar and very comfortable for me because that's all I knew. Like, familiarity does not mean it's good. In fact, one of my things that I've learned, things that are uncomfortable for me are oftentimes the exact things that I need because I'm such a masochist at heart because of my upbringing. And the way the media, I don't know who branding this couple, but they need some sort of pride because there's article after article after article about him not refusing to wear a wedding ring because he doesn't want to. That's it. He just doesn't want to. So instead he got a tattoo of a bell. Like, I've already covered this in my last video. Click the comment if you want to see it. that's so romantic. Something that no one else will know what that means except for her. And funny enough, it's allegedly she's not allowed to get tattoos because he doesn't like women with tattoos. I don't know if that's true, but she's said that before. Not sure if she's joking or not, but there's a lot of truth behind jokes, y'all. You should also pay attention to the company that people keep. In my years on this planet, I have realized that I am the sum total of the people I surround myself with. So if I want to be healthy, I better stop hanging out with people who encourage unhealthy behavior. She is friends with Ellen and Jimmy and Ashton and Mila. In fact, they're such good friends, especially Dax and Ashton, who is trash and a huge enabler and I believe a predator based on everything I've read about him. These two gave them a shower curtain. Like, that's hilarious. But the fact that they bought them a gift where you take your clothes off and look at these two people. Also, Dax bragged about not having a bathroom door on in his bathroom where his podcast is. So his guests can't have privacy when they use the bathroom, which is funny. He has a picture of her, bragging about her not using the bathroom without having a bathroom door. But it makes sense because she doesn't close. This couple bragged about they have a no closed door policy in their home. What kind of sense of safety is that for your children? They can't close the door when they use the bathroom? Like, do y'all see how we've been holding this couple up as some sort of relationship goals? And this man has been a predator for a long time, okay? And his little predator friend. And he's really good friends with this guy who's been really problematic for a long time and keeps dropping little hints that he's not a reformed bad boy. He's just adapted. And now that he's married to a Disney princess, he can get away with all this stuff. And he hides behind the fact that he has 2 daughters. Do you know how many misogynists have daughters? So what? That doesn't protect you. Speaking of daughters, this is his surrogate daughter. His wife went on Instagram and talked about her wedding. And the final clip in this series is a video of him giving their surrogate daughter a lap dance. I mean, look, she said some kids you have by birth, others you find. Basically saying that this is even Dax has called her his surrogate daughter, and that she's also, big sister to their kids. And yet on his surrogate daughter's wedding day, he does this. Now, because his wife seems to be so not aware of how not okay this is, he then had to go and be like, but he explains. I'm not going to include the clip because I can't stand watching this man talk. But this is what he said. But he basically was saying that, the bunch of women were giving his surrogate daughter a lap dance. And he said, I don't know why I did this, but I'm like, girls should have a lap dance from a guy. You're a dad. You think that way? You think that's what women want? Every woman should get a lap dance. What's wrong with you? And then because, he's just so relatable and honest, he was like, oh, oops. I guess it's kind of weird when I told her dad that, I love being her surrogate parent. I mean, if your friends don't shut the doors in their bathroom, they may rub off on you and what's appropriate. Birds of a feather, man. This is a man who plays devil's advocate about trans kids, but won't have Shannon Watts on his podcast because pew-pews are too controversial. Someone who's so worried about children, but met his surrogate daughter when she was 16 and became friends with her on Twitter. Now, I'm not saying he did anything. Do not trust men who are DMing teenagers. And then she's like, yeah, cool, let's just adopt her. I mean, whatever. I don't understand. I've been trying to figure out what happened with this woman. I want all men in Hollywood to stop talking to teenagers. Stop it. Even if I don't care if you're giving them a break. I do not trust the motives of any man who's messaging teenage girls, and nor should you. Especially a man who dated an Olsen twin and defends men who date ridiculously young women and thinks that's somehow comparable to women sleeping around. Like this. He also brags about being a selfish prick. This is what he does. This is how he's bragging about watching TV. And then Kristen jokes about how this is how she jokes about how much this girl, you can admit he's a jerk to you. It's not funny though, but maybe you should question women who say stuff like this about Russell Brand, claiming she's the only woman, the cool girl who will, this interview is horrifying. She's admitting that he's, terrible to her and all this stuff. She's like, but you know what? I'm the only one admitted, despite being hypervigilant around. I loved working with him because hiding inside Russell is a very nice boy. I had a lovely time with him because he was a bit protective towards me. Stop taking dating advice from cool girls.